As a young man, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. On my friend Mike's recommendation, I moved to Chicago and began as a runner on the trading floor. I eventually moved up and made bank trading size for one of the most respected firms in the world. In the dot-com bubble, things went south for me. The trader lifestyle caught up and I lost everything. Years later, I fought my way back, and I'm now here to help others on Trader Talk. All right, and welcome today to Trader Talk. I'm Dave, and thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Please check me out on Twitter, where I'm pretty active. You guys on StockTwits know I'm out there. Also, I have the Facebook groups listed in the description. I've been hanging out a little bit more in the MJ group lately, and I'm working on a website project. We're trying to get the website reset up. It was set up for a while last year, but it wasn't that great. So I've been redesigning a new website. It should be like sort of a one-stop shop type place for your VIX needs. Plus, we'll have a selection of all the different interviews, some basic information on VIX strategies, plus some basic options information as well. But working on that now. I want to make it so it's it looks beautiful. I want to get some artists involved, so I'm trying to help finance that right now. Taking on a website, it doesn't sound like that much, but it has some extra expenses incurred with it. That's why I took it down for a little while last year. But let's move on and take a look a little bit at the markets now. Pretty much we've been hanging out in a kind of holding pattern here with the VIX basically unchanged in the last day, it seems like. And we noticed kind of a firm, in a way, it's sort of like a firm VIX people have been talking about. I personally think there's just not all that much to talk about here, and so people are kind of coming up with stuff. But the VIX now showing up a penny. The roll yield, that being the difference between the spot and the VIX, is almost 2 points or $2, which for a week into the expiration cycle is kind of high. Now, that may not have been high like a year ago, but in this current environment, it seems kind of high, the roll yield. And also noted CGC, the stock that's been just ripping to the moon, back down $4 today. So we knew that had to happen at some point. Canopy growth. Let's take a look at that one here. Okay, and you just see it coming off a little bit. Stuff can't go parabolic forever. And CGC here coming off. I'm hoping not too many people got caught, got hung up on this one. I have people all the time asking me in the chats, is this a good time to buy MJ stocks? Is this a good time to do this, that? And I got to tell you, being a trader for many years and being on the floor and in the center of the action, what you learn from that is that there is no special secret knowledge that's going to tell us exactly what's going to happen in the future. And, your guess is as good as mine as to when an individual stock is going to go up or down. I think sometimes we get caught up in our emotions and get excited with momentum and stuff and try to think that we can predict the future when any good trader knows we cannot predict the future. So, so a little pullback here. In APH.CA news, there's a lot of rumors swirling around that APH.CA also on a pullback here. Not as intense, but definitely a pullback. There was a lot of rumors going on yesterday that a board member, let me see if I can find the actual post, but I'm going to pronounce this wrong. It's a big beverage company. It starts with a D, and let me get the tweet because I always pronounce this name wrong. But basically, rumored takeover and discussions of takeover by beer and liquor companies of APH.CA led to you know, it rallying. I mean, obviously, it's also rallying because every marijuana stock's rallying in the last day or two. But specifically, there were rumors tied to this one. And I'm going to pull up more information as I continue to speak with you right now. So, is it a good idea to ask a YouTuber when to buy stocks and to follow that advice? Now, when I put that in the title, when I was writing that title just a second ago, of course the answer is obvious. It's probably not a good idea to ask YouTubers when to buy stocks. It's, you know, there's a credibility issue, and I'm not, you know, attacking my own credibility. I'm just saying that, you know, YouTube has very few barriers to entry. You don't know who you're talking to, and even if you did know who you're talking to, you should do your own research as far as stocks go and try to make up your own mind on stuff. Following other people's advice, it's only going to work, you know, until it doesn't. And I would recommend doing your own research. You know, I was having this discussion with my dad over sort of liability of having this channel, and, you know, well, what are the risks? He was saying, well, I should incorporate, you know, because there's risks. And I understand that, but, you know, imagine going into court and somebody suing you and saying, well, this YouTuber told, you know, I saw this YouTuber's video about Afria, and so I bought the stock, and then it went down, and it's his fault, so I need some money back. It just sounds silly, doesn't it? So, nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, and I know that's a very hard concept for people to accept because everybody wants a crystal ball. Everybody wants someone to tell them what to do. Everybody wants to make easy money, but people, you know, people have a good rap with, like, they'll show you all these charts and they'll say all these complicated phrases and words, and they'll try to convince you that, well, based on the past, that the stock is going to do X, Y, or Z. And, you know, some guesses are maybe more educated than others, but in the end, nobody really knows what's going to happen. And that's just the way things work on Wall Street, and it can be frustrating. Yes, the market tends to go higher, and yes, there are a bunch of stocks that have tended to go higher with the market. The FANG stocks, for example, have tended to go higher. And, you know, people who buy a stock market that continues to go higher end up making money in a general sense if they're long this stuff and they hang out long enough. And that's true. But beyond that, anything can happen with an individual issue. Let's take a look at Facebook here for a second. This is one that I was playing a little bit last week. You know, it's made a comeback from its, you know, off its little sell-off there. And it's come back quite a bit from, you know, it was like a week of going straight down, and now it's moving a little up. But is there a way of knowing what's going to happen in the future? No. And so when you jump in there and take risk, you are taking real risk, and nobody really knows what's going to happen. And anything could change at any minute. Something could come out or something could happen that would change things. And that's just the way it is. Okay, well, I do want to make a plug for, I appreciate the support I've gotten recently on Patreon, and but I do need more support. I really do want to get this website going. I did make this kind of mock-up of an intro, because what I was thinking of doing is trying to make more accessible content to more people, and as a means of doing that, I'm starting a series called Trader Talk, and it's just going to be like 5 to 10 minute videos on one subject at a time. And I've been working on an introduction for it, and that was the intro for this video right now. And I'm actually probably going to pay somebody who's more creative than I am to make an even better introduction. I was watching this video. It's called Fresh Out of the Penitentiary. Here, I'll pull it up for just a second. It's weird. My Facebook is not logging in. I don't know if it's down for a second or something. So anyways, maybe we're not going to be able to do that for a second. All right. So we have a big guest coming tomorrow, and if you have studied options at all on YouTube, if you've gone to any channels to learn about options at all in the past, then you're going to know this person. And I'm very excited to have him tomorrow. I don't announce the name of my guest ahead of time because I don't want to sort of jinx myself, but exciting guests coming on tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that coming up very shortly in the future tomorrow. And I'm going to give one more attempt here at pulling up my Facebook account to tell you more about this Afria rumored takeover news. And it's probably not going to happen for me, is it? Here, let's see. Let's try one more time. But yeah, so the concept is keep interviews going, keep live streams going, but have a series of very basic, not basic, but just one topic videos. So for example, I get all these questions from viewers, answer just one question in the video, or maybe, what is delta? Let's talk about delta. Well, delta is a Greek used to describe risk in a stock or options position. There's 3 definitions for delta. One is the hedge ratio for options. So if you buy 10 calls at a 60 delta, to hedge them delta neutral, you should sell 600 shares of a stock against it. Also, delta is the amount of dollars you will make for a 1-point move in the underlying. So if you're long 100 deltas, stock goes up $1, you make $100. Also for delta is the percent of chance of something finishing in the money at expiration. So if you buy a 40 delta call, there's a 40% chance that call will finish in the money on expiration. There are 3 definitions for delta. That would be an example of one short video that teaches you something about trading that you can, jump on YouTube, learn a little something, and move on with your day. I know, YouTube attention spans are kind of short, and so in that, using that idea, I'm going to start making a shorter, quicker little factoid, little bites of trading knowledge that you can take with you and move on with your day. So with that being said, and with my internet not working so well right now, I'm going to leave with playing once more my kind of mock-up of a new intro for this Trader Talk series, and I will see you in the next video. So here we go. Ready? As a young man, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. On my friend Mike's recommendation, I moved to Chicago and began as a runner on the trading floor. I eventually moved up and made bank trading size for one of the most respected firms in the world. In the dot-com bubble, things went south for me. The trader lifestyle caught up and I lost everything. Years later, I fought my way back, and I'm now here to help others on Trader Talk.